Yeah, about nutrition. Here to tell us more about them, let's welcome back the Shred Series best-selling author, Dr. Ian Smith.
Hey, guys.
Hey.
What's up, what's up?
All right, so you heard us tease that off the top, and these are actual headlines in magazines. The first one, there are diets that say no carbs, and we've heard one say stay away from pasta, but now there's a headline that claims that pasta can actually save your life.
Yeah, well, you got to take this with a grain of salt, or a pinch of salt, as they say. So it's a study done in mice, okay, which a lot of studies start in mice. So, but you got to be careful. Mice studies don't always transfer to human studies. But the idea is that they had a particular pasta that was infused with barley. And this particular barley had something called a beta-glucan, which is a type of fiber. And this fiber is known to help increase vascularization or create new blood vessels and also reduce the damage after a heart attack. So they gave these mice this pasta that was infused with barley. They gave them a heart attack. And then they looked at the hearts to see what the results were. And those who had this particular type of pasta, they had new blood vessel growth, which is important after a heart attack.
Okay.
And they also had less heart damage as a result of the heart attack. So in the mice studies, this sounds pretty darn good, but there's a huge gulf between what you find in the lab with a mouse and what happens in human beings.
Interesting.
So stay away from the pasta,
well,
maybe.
if you're going to have pasta, and I believe in pasta, it's the whole grain pasta that you want.
So definitely whole grain.
Oh, for sure. And by the way, people say it doesn't taste good. Listen, by the time you put the sauce on it, you can't taste the difference.
I agree.
Right?
I totally
You
agree.
get used to it.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely.
I agree. Okay, so there's been some back and forth about whether it's possible to be overweight yet still fit.
Yeah. This has been going on for years and years. It's called Fat But Fit. Okay, and I just had a friend of mine. I was in LA, and she's a larger woman, and she was saying, I went to the doctors. Everything is great. Well, this new study is saying, yeah, some people who are overweight do not have metabolic problems. They call them metabolically healthy obesity, which means that they don't have diabetes, they don't have high blood pressure or high cholesterol. But the study does show that people who are overweight or obese are going to have an increased risk for coronary artery disease. Those are the vessels that feed our heart.
Right.
Also stroke,
Okay.
which is a problem, and high cholesterol. So you do have to still be active. So the study showed the in-between part of it, which is this. If you're overweight or obese, but you're active, then you are less likely to get these kind of diseases versus someone who is just overweight and inactive.
Because you have to work out your heart.
Absolutely.
That's why you need to do cardio.
Absolutely. So the cardio does help. Being active does help reduce that risk, but you still are not as healthy as someone who is of a good BMI, body mass index, and active.
Right. All right, next one. A recent study looked at a possible link between sugar and cancer. Anything to this, Doc?
Absolutely. So sugar is very important to all of our bodies. My last book, Blast the Sugar Out, as you know about, is about reducing sugars, but particularly when it comes to cancer patients. So cancer cells have something called a Warburg effect, which means that they can hyperactively break down sugar much faster than a regular cell. But the problem is that sugar is a source of energy. It's like food for cancer cells also. So when these cancer cells were breaking down sugar really fast, they also were increasing their growth fast also. So it's the Warburg effect. So if you are someone who has cancer, or you have a family member or a friend, have them reduce the amount of sugar they consume in their diet, less food for those cancer cells, and hopefully reduce some of that cancer growth.
The more we learn about sugar, the more we wonder, why is it in everything?
Everything. 155 pounds a year the average American consumes in sugar. So
crazy.
All right.
All right, we got some social media questions. You want to get to Tammy?
This one's from Tammy Carlock. Cancer seems to be rampant, since we're speaking of cancer. I currently am going through chemo. What foods can keep cancer away? How do we detox this poison out of us once we are done with the treatment?
Well, it's interesting. So, you have a lot of people, I don't want to get people upset, but a lot of people believe that there are certain types of foods that can hold off cancer or prevent cancer. The truth of the matter is that other than reducing your sugar intake like we just discussed, there aren't special foods that are going to kill your cancer cells. It just simply doesn't work that way. But we do believe that people who are going through chemotherapy, they need to have the right amount of protein, they need to have the right amount of calories. You actually want to increase your calorie content, but keep the sugars down.
Yeah, we always hear about superfoods, though, and antioxidants.
Yes, yes. They're good.
Yeah.
An antioxidant, by the way, is a compound that fights something called a free radical. So free radicals are these compounds in your body that float around, and they can cause disease. When you hear the word antioxidant, that means it fights against that free radical, it neutralizes it, and makes it less
and
damaging.
that's like berries, right? Spinach.
Berries, sure. Green foods, green leafy foods. Anything that says super antioxidants, those are very healthy for you.
All right, this one's from Jennifer Morris. She says, there is so much conflicting info about the best way to lose weight. Some say low fat, some say high fat, low carb, etc. If you have to lose a lot of weight, what is the best approach for long-term success?
This is a great question because I am always confused and I'm always trying something out. What's the answer?
So the answer is that there is no answer. And I'm not trying to be cute, but the thing is that everyone's body responds differently to different diets. And for some people, it's low carb. For some people, it's high protein. It really is what works for you. And so I tell people, try different diets and see how your body responds. In general, lower calorie programs are going to work, a little higher in protein and higher in fiber, and of course low in sugar. Those programs, those basic tenets are going to work in any program, but you got the keto diet, you got all these different diets people are doing, this fast metabolism. The idea is find something that works for you, and the cardio is important, and the working out. High interval training, intensive interval training is very important.
All right, Dr. Ian Smith, great stuff.